Hello guys, and welcome back to Commander the Great War with our Entente playthrough. In the last episode, we continued our hyper-aggressive plays. We took the rest of Belgium and got them back into the fight. We've pushed ahead and procured a good amount of ground and even some kills on the Eastern Front, albeit both us and the Germans are in a precarious situation. It's really quite impressive that we're winning now that the Germans are so far ahead of us. Their infantry are all basically level 3, whereas all my infantry are still level 1. Until next turn, anyway, because a lot of our infantry research for basically all of our countries is finishing next turn, and it will increase our base defense by 4. Better than nothing, and I think I'll have to pay to get those upgrades in, so I may not want to spend all my money this turn. But all I really have left to do that I know of is spend money. And now France and Britain both just got a good chunk of money in from some convoys this previous turn. Britain gets it in more than France, so we want to be a little conservative with France's spending, especially knowing we'll have to upgrade soon. Now, we did get another fighter pilot for France, so I'm tempted to build another French fighter. In fact, I'm going to, just to make the most of it. So let's go ahead and purchase that. Costs 30, but I mean, it could come in handy. Once the front opens up more, we will need at least another fighter. 2 for the north, let's say, and 2 headed south. And I don't know what Italy's going to start with, but Italy's probably going to be pretty hyper-focused. Maybe I'll do 1 or 2 non-hyper-focused things, like I'm doing right now with France with a fighter. Maybe I'll keep them hyper-focused, who knows. France is also not yet at the 10 ammunition production that I wanted for it, so I'm going to go ahead and finish that purchase. We are now down to 60 production points, but we now have 10 production each turn, so we can shoot at least 1 RD piece consistently every single turn, which will hopefully stockpile up. We have a second RD piece finishing soon, in fact. And I gotta make the most of this. I do need more troops for the front as the front expands. A cheap way to do this in the long term as opposed to the short term. See, the infantry are a long-term investment because they take 4 production point upkeep. And right now, our upkeep isn't doing so great. It's getting lower and lower, and soon we'll be probably entirely reliant on convoys to do anything. But armored trains only require 1, even though they have a little bit more of an initial cost. You can have 4 of them running for every infantry you have. They're a little more specific in what they're good at, but in terms of fighting armor and air, they're a little future-proofed, and they're really good at holding lines and filling in gaps really quickly. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to purchase 1, 2 armored trains for France. This does use most of their points, which is unfortunate, but they have so much stuff building now in RD piece. They have 2 trains and another aircraft that they should be good for the time being anyway. All their garrisons will be reclaimed from Belgium because I have Belgian garrisons being made that will hold this area. So I didn't lose anything for going after this area for France anyway. For Great Britain's points, there's not a whole lot I need. Egypt is pretty plugged up. The support that they are providing to France, it's pretty much covered pretty well. So I'm going to actually go ahead and purchase 2 more airships. Their production of production points is getting pretty low as well, but I want to put 1 of these airships somewhere in the west, maybe around Ireland, so that it can guard just, everything around here maybe, and then something up in the north in case anything tries to sneak around there. Not very likely, but I just want to have my bases covered. Something in France later could also be good, but I don't want to spend all of their points this turn because we're about to unlock some new stuff. And whenever they get bombers, they are going to be buying basically all of the bombers for Europe. One thing I almost forgot to do before ending the turn is using the French fighters. So let's go ahead and attack an enemy fighter. We dealt 1, we lost none. All right, that's pretty fantastic. So let's go ahead and hit end turn. See how this goes. All right, enemy convoy moving up. Aggressive plays on my garrison on the wars on both borders, actually, on the Eastern Front. Let's see. Looks like they're going after this garrison still on the Serbian front. No matter what I put there, they're going after it. The winter's gone, so that's good. Well, it's not good because they get the first turn during it. Harassing our border forces, reforming around our border forces. Convoys are moving. And we finished 2 technologies. Sadly, it looks like only the Great Britain has finished these technologies. I was hoping they all would because their bars were full, but looks like it wasn't good enough. 4 submarines finished and a Russian airship. We got a lot to do this turn. So I can now indeed confirm that upgrading does cost points, and any technological upgrade does allow for you to spend points in upgrading. So we're going to go ahead and upgrade the British and Canadian Expeditionary Forces to give them +4 more base defense. That is awesome, a base defense of 18. I still don't know what the base and high defenses really are or do, because this game doesn't have a tutorial. But they're now upgraded. The CEF is ready for action. The BEF has recovered 5 efficiency, or 6 actually. No, 5. So yeah, I guess when you recover efficiency, you recover 5 all at once. That's interesting. I was wondering how that worked, and now I have more of an idea of how it works. Let's go down to this front now, where we have definitely some points to spend. Not everything can be upgraded, right? No, not all infantry can be upgraded. Just garrisons and infantry, not small garrisons. They always stay the way they are. We can also upgrade artillery, and that is a lot more expensive to do. Oh my. Wow. And it does mark their level as being upgraded as well, is at least one thing to notice. And it looks like the artillery updates, so every new arty you make is of the new model. I wish I had put this off a little bit now. Oh well. Let's go ahead and upgrade everybody on the front. This is why I saved all these points. I don't think I can repair in the same turn. I can! Oh! That's handy. Let's get you repaired. Let's get everyone upgraded so we have much better defense now. Beautiful. And let's go ahead and upgrade this arty that has just arrived. I don't know if I can move it and upgrade it, so probably not going to risk figuring it out. I'm just going to upgrade it immediately. Alright, there you go. It got smaller. You ever make something better but it gets smaller? I can't upgrade a lot of the garrisons around the world because they have limited supplies, and I guess you can't upgrade with limited supplies, but I can upgrade the garrison defending London. That's better than nothing, so let's go ahead and upgrade that. It doesn't need to be upgraded, but Britain has a lot of points. I saved a lot of its points. We might as well use all the points on whatever upgrades we can due to the limited amount that we even unlocked to begin with. This gives France and other countries at least a chance to save up a little bit more money before having to upgrade as well. Now for the navies. Let's take this sub, and we are going to go chasing this enemy convoy. We attack, we do 2 damage, it's now down to 7. We're going to want to stop this completely, that's for sure. Let's take a dreadnought, because why not? And move it near London, so we're getting a little bit of a buff too. Use our ammunition. Boom, and it's dead. Wiped out, rest of the damage done, just like that. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm willing to bet ships need to be important to upgrade as well. But I don't even... What upgrades have we gotten for ships? Increases to naval attack. I wonder. So I decided to test it by moving this dreadnought into port to see if it can receive any upgrades. And yes it can. We can move these ships back into the port to give them whatever upgrades they need. So I think I might do that as well. It's a bit more of a hassle, but we can do like 1 fleet, quote unquote, at a time. And that way, if Germany does spend money reinforcing its fleets, we will still be more than a match from them, and they will not get around us in any way. So let's go ahead and upgrade this dreadnought. Wow, it's damn nice that I saved this money then. This is now level 3. Really, level 3. What determines the level? I guess the first technology. We could go up to 6 or something. And I believe that just gave it more armor, but better defense is still an upgrade. Let's go ahead and continue upgrading this fleet here. This armored cruiser, where can we get it? We'll send it to Edinburgh. We will send this light cruiser down to London. This cruiser will go down to Calais. And this one will go to Portsmouth. And we will upgrade all these ships. Okay, turns out you could not upgrade at a friendly port. Only a home port. That sucks. Wait, no. Maybe you... Wait, no. Okay, you definitely cannot, because this is a light cruiser. And this is a light cruiser. I can upgrade these ones. I guess the armored cruisers don't have any upgrades currently. Just the light cruisers and the dreadnoughts. So maybe it's just the ships that are producible. Maybe older ships like pre-dreadnoughts and armored cruisers cannot be upgraded. I don't know. I could eventually test it out with these guys. I wish the game would just teach me this, but oh well. Upgrade this, upgrade this. What I actually ended up doing was reloading my backup save, leaving the armored cruiser out here now that I know that that's how that works, and just sending everything back so it can be upgraded all at once, with the exception of this dreadnought that took part in sinking the German merchant convoy. This entire fleet is upgraded and will be back in position in simply one turn. Since this fleet will have to come next, I should get them on the move sooner rather than later. I don't believe the armored cruisers can upgrade, so I can kind of leave them behind. Let's go ahead and get my dreadnoughts moving into position then. I could send one up to Scapa Flow, I believe, so let's go ahead and send one up that way. Send this one towards Edinburgh, I guess. Get the light cruisers as well, heading further down south. And they should be able to reach just about everything. This armored cruiser will join the other one in just plugging this gap while those ones go. Looking at Serbia at this point, this garrison definitely needs some slack cut for it, so we're going to swap it out with the army next door. The army, which is now full on efficiency and doesn't need to spend efficiency moving, thanks to winter being over. Over in Serbia, I kind of want to lash out to do some damage because now the winter's over and I can afford to do that. I'm going to take the arty and I'm going to shoot this level 3 garrison because I think I have the best odds at maybe hurting this. So already our arty dealt 2 fucking damage. Arty, level 1 arty, dealing damage against a entrenched level 3 garrison. That's pretty impressive. Let's attack with our infantry as well. Alright, we dealt 1 damage, we lost none. Good exchange of fire. Let's use the army that moved into this spot. Maybe a little riskier, but maybe it'll go pretty well. Okay, we dealt 3 damage and took none. So we just wiped out 7 German garrison units for the price of just some ammunition. That's fantastic. This unit is going to be pulled out of here without a doubt once the Germans get their turn. One thing I forgot to use down in Egypt is my fighter to do, well, something. And we're going to want to use it to harass one of these enemy units. One we have a chance of hurting pretty well, which currently is just this one. So let's go ahead and strafe that one. Oh, we actually hurt it. We actually took some of its health away. That's more than I expected. That's good. Efficiency down and health down with a fighter strafe. So next turn, my newly upgraded infantry can go on the assault and do some damage unless they run this away, just like they're running this away. I want to know why they're running this down south. What could you be doing down here? What is down here for you to do? I do not know. And now the trickier part. The Ottomans have regained basically most, if not all, of their efficiency down here, but currently we are technically holding the line down by Sarikamish, and we could use some repairs. We could also use some of our own efficiency back, but this garrison is just in a weird position. Like, we don't have these mountains defended. We do have this railway, so if we need to rail away and escape, we can. But I'd like to hold it. I would really like to not lose anything, because as of right now, you know, after reclaiming Belgium, I am missing no cities, but I've gained vast swaths of land. And I would like to defend everything I have if that proves to be possible. I don't know if that will prove to be possible, though. But right now, though, I'm just going to repair these units, give them a chance to rest. Not that they need a chance to rest, but the enemies seem to be digging in as well. Of course, their efficiency was shot until right now. If we look at the production tab, we will be getting Russian units soon, right? Yeah, an infantry in 1 turn. I intended that for the Western Russian front, so the Eastern front, not the Ottomans, but if I need to throw one down here, I'll throw another one down here if that's what it takes to hold this line. But ideally, both of these would be way better suited on our eastern front, pushing against our main enemies. The Ottomans cannot survive without the other two, but the other two can survive without the Ottomans. Although, you know, gaining the Ottomans stuff would be pretty nice. It's so hard to invade the Ottomans because, like, you have to do either naval landings, push up a desert, or push down through a bunch of mountains with no infrastructure to support anything. And that's just not easy to do. But it is easy to hold them in those kinds of conditions. Technically, theoretically. Whereas here, it's just so mobile right now that I don't want to lose my momentum. Speaking of momentum, let's figure out what to do with these subs. Don't know what that has to do with momentum, but yeah. I intended 2 of these to be sent in here, but quite frankly, not that necessary. What is necessary is having more submarines down in this region. So I'm going to put another submarine there. So we'll have 3 submarines down here, in fact, is what I'll do. 3 submarines for this channel. And I have 2 more submarines. We'll have 3 submarines up here. And there you go. 3 submarines up here guarding this. We have 4 submarines guarding this. 4 seems to be the perfect number for taking down these enemy convoys. But I'll experiment and see if I actually need any more or not. I mean, we have a Russian one helping us here, of course. But we need a little bit more because they have their own navy over here to worry about. We're going to take this Russian airship, and it's mainly going to be used for ASW purposes. And I know these guys have a pretty good fucking range, and let me remind myself what the range is. 16, so let's figure out what we can hit if I just deploy. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh my god. Okay, so going by Tallinn over here in Estonia should be more than good. Very well protected, and it'll be very good for ASW purposes. That is the only reason I bought this airship, is ASW purposes. And now we have it. Now on the western front, we have to unify our northern front with our southern front here, if at all possible. And that's mainly going to be done with infantry. So let's start by taking this infantry and just moving it forward next to Liege and meeting this enemy garrison up by this front. We're going to also have to repair a couple things. I'm going to repair this British airship, and I'm going to repair this British fighter. This British fighter needs to go join the front to begin with. I guess I'll move it right about here. It'll be safe here. That's fine. Get a good look at what they have. They have a lot of fighters, man. So the fact that I'm gonna have 4 fighters once the next French one gets built isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's especially going to be useful, again, when the front splits off, because the British will likely be supplying air cover for the Italians as well at the end of the day. So I may have a little bit of an excess right now, but that excess will be just right, or maybe even not enough in the future. I'm being kind of picky about where I move literally anything, because I'm in cautious mode still because of the winter, but our efficiency is holding. We're going to take this French infantry, move it up to the front as well, right there, pushing up, taking more land. I believe we've now reclaimed, yep, we have reclaimed all of Belgium's land, 100% of it, even the non-important stuff. So that's fantastic. And now France is claiming some German land, and France needs it more than anybody else, since Great Britain gets plenty of convoys and France doesn't get as much. France needs the land a lot more for production. Let's take Nivelle and move him down to the front as well. He's providing his buff all across now. And we're moving up to the river here. We do have some units back here that could be redeployed, but I know that I can repair units after moving them if I don't attack. So I should be able to move a garrison up as well to keep up with our other units if we're still moving by land. So let's go ahead and move this garrison this way and fill in this part of this front. It may get attacked, but they'd have to move up to do that, and I don't really think that they will do that. And God, they have all their stuff upgraded. Level 3 artillery, level 3 infantry and garrisons. It's insane. Level 2 airships. We're nothing compared to them, but we're about to get a lot of upgrades. And even without the upgrades, we've been outplaying them left and right. It's actually pretty impressive here. Now, how should I do this? Well, Joffrey can't get very far, and while I could just train him forward, I don't wanna. So instead, I'm just gonna move him to Liege. He's nearby, providing his buffs. Very good, very nice. We're gonna repair him. Probably repair this guy as well. He's not going anywhere. He's not doing anything. I could move an infantry up and attack some of their rear units here, but that unit would be in a precarious situation where he'd likely get gangbanged on all sides and fairly injured and likely have no way to retreat because it would either get cut off or I'd have to shore up the rear. And unfortunately, this is not a game that acknowledges that multiple units can exist in one hex, quote unquote. We'll move the garrison off of Brussels as well. Remember, I have Belgian garrisons producing that will take over the defense of Brussels and Liege. They will be done next turn, so as soon as this place is undefended, it will be defended yet again. what I should likely be spending my railroad movement on right now is actually this artillery piece, which could use some efficiency. So it would be smart to leave it here, but it just attacked last turn. It's not really in the beginning of resting or anything. I don't know what front I want it on, but I might as well go to the easiest option, which is just north of Liege, where it can start firing at this garrison if we just want to push up into Dortmund. You know, I've noticed Metz and Strasbourg still haven't regained whatever this little number is, which I feel like is a measurement of supplies, production, that kind of stuff. I wonder if occupied areas ever regain that. I mean, they should. Danzig still has some. Hohenberg still has none. I really wish this game had a tutorial. That would be so nice, but it doesn't. Anyway, let's train this right up to here. Get it up to the front. It can start firing immediately or just sit around and try to recover some efficiency. Either way, the northern area is pretty much taken care of. Can't forget Fonk here, who needs to continue attacking enemy fighters. Dealt one, lost none. That's good. Every turn, a little trickle away from their production points, a little trickle away from their total manpower. Let's get it going. Let's keep it up. That's most of the French stuff. I'm going to move. The cavalry needs to restore its efficiency. This is missing an efficiency point, and I'd rather just let it recover it before I move it up into any front, just because it's a garrison. And you don't want garrisons to get particularly hurt, because it's a quick way to lose troops that you don't really need to lose. I am not going to do any bold plays right now over here. Oh yeah, I got to repair that. So I'm going to repair this infantry. Now onto the Eastern Front. So this is another... they've been fighting very aggressively against whatever Russians I put here and doing good damage because I'm putting garrisons there. But we've been holding. I'll move this garrison up while this garrison covers and repairs. And hopefully now that winter's done, it won't be as good for them. Maybe it'll be better. I don't know. Luckily, Russia has a lot of manpower. Unfortunately, they're losing it. If this war continues for a long time, I don't know how the enemy's manpower and all that is going, but I can see Russia getting overextended and being pushed back slowly, which is what happened in real life. I mean, but we did better with Russia already so far, and I want to prevent that from happening if possible, so I have to make progress somewhere. We're getting really bogged down in a lot of places, and we're having to spread a lot of our units out. It's really not going the way I want to. I can't do anything down here. I can't. I don't have enough troops to do anything down there. But here, the enemies have crumbled in my northern push. This is about to get very uneven, but they've crumbled, and I have to take advantage of it. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take this artillery piece, and I'm going to fire at Posen with it. We've dealt 1 damage and reduced their efficiency a little bit. That's pretty nice. Unfortunately, a lot of my units here are injured and need to repair. This one needs to repair and just sit down and recover some efficiency as well. This one has full efficiency, but it needs to repair nonetheless. We can surround Posen mostly right now, and I plan on doing essentially that. So we are going to take this cavalry because there's nothing they could push up here that would hurt us. I'm going to move the cavalry around, another flanking maneuver like I just did. We can see some Austrians trying to shore up the rear by Stettin. Nothing I'm too worried about. I don't think we can really do any more damage at Posen right now. It's not going to be easily fought, that's for sure. It's entrenched. Despite lowering efficiency and lowering combat numbers, it's entrenched. The spaces behind it are not entrenched. They are vulnerable, in fact. So I want to take advantage of their vulnerability. Let's go ahead and try to strafe this weakened unit back here. And I don't think that had much of an effect. Maybe it lowered their efficiency by 1. If so, that's good. That's exactly what I was going for, really. And now we have a garrison to move forward. Let's move it forward actually into these entrenchments so I can make sure this infantry is protected. Not that anyone's really going to try to hurt it. Just move the infantry up now that moving isn't such a costly thing. I'm going to take Yudenik and I'm going to move his ass right up, just like this, right into the front. I'm going to back him up with this armored train. I don't know if it can get to Stettin. Let's see. No, it can't. But we have a nice another little front here. We've pushed a lot. Oh my god, could you imagine Russia having pulled this off in World War I? Anyway, we could do some damage here. I know that. Let's go ahead and repair this garrison. It's doing a great thing. Its efficiency's low. It's halfway down, but it's holding, and that's what matters right now. Oh, man, the level 1 Austrian infantry is so tempting. They can get level 2 now. The fact that they haven't for a lot of their units probably says something that they're either overproducing or that they are not producing enough production points. But let's get to my plan. So I want to attack this infantry. That's why I moved down here, in order to try to scare away everything behind Posen, which right now is at 0. So they may be running low on supplies soon if I can cut them off. We dealt 3 damage, we took none. Good fucking job, Udinick, but we didn't chase them off. Let's take the Warsaw Force and attack the infantry right behind Posen. We dealt 1, we took 1. It's not as good as I'd want, and there's not any more attacking that I can really do that's gonna amount to anything. I mean, I guess if I really wanted to, I could take this armored train and attack Stettin with it. We lost nothing, we dealt 1. I mean, that right there, that's okay. That's pretty good. That's better than nothing. I don't know if we already had 9 efficiency and I didn't just let it recover. Pretty sure I just didn't let it recover, and that's all. We desperately need just more manpower to fill in our gaps, that's for sure, and to push stronger, but the defenses around Stettin and Posen are collapsing. So if we can capture Posen, then we are making further progress. Dude, I just realized how close we are to Berlin. I wonder how they're going to react to this. Because if I just pour more manpower and I just keep pushing on Berlin like I'm doing right now, before they ever get the chance to flip the situation onto Russia, I could wipe out the strength of Germany, most of their supplies, their morale, if they don't massively reorganize their troops to defend it, however, which they probably will, honestly. But it would be so interesting if we could do that. I mean, look at what we've done so far. Who's to say that we cannot have Berlin by the end of 1915? Who knows? I desperately need more infantry for Russia to keep pushing and keep holding as I've done. So I'm going to go ahead and buy another Russian infantry, as costly as it may end up being, as it will end up being. Purchase that. I'm going to hold on to the rest of these points and not overspend right now. There's other things I want to buy. I don't want to blow everything on infantry. I still need, like, bombers, for example. I still need more artillery. Another Russian artillery would be good. Oh, actually, I already purchased one. But bombers, for example. Tanks, whenever that comes around. I'm saving the last 20 instead of buying another infantry, though, because next turn we will get the ability, I believe next turn, to upgrade our infantry. So I want to make sure that we are actually prepared to upgrade our infantry. But with that, I believe we have our full turn. Let's go ahead and hit end turn and see how they react to our massive gains around the world. Alright, they're reorganizing, going heavy after that. Ooh, cavalry got real hurt. Shifting forces around, still going heavy after whatever garrison I put on that Austrian front. They're moving away from Poland because I don't have troops there. They're not leaving troops there either. They moved that injured garrison out and replaced it with an armored train. Okay. Ooh. Oh, lots of plane and artillery attacking my French units on the border. They're upgrading troops, moving massive amounts of troops around. Our convoys are moving around. We're about to get another British convoy in. Man, the Brits, whew, I don't even know what to do with all their points at this point. The French and the Russians have finished their infantry upgrade, and now I can start upgrading all their infantry, as expensive as that will end up becoming. God damn, look at how much damage they did to the efficiency of this infantry. Not to the infantry itself, but to the efficiency of it. It will actually really likely have to retreat. Man, it looks like even the Ottomans have gotten their infantry upgrades. I have a good feeling that either the enemies have purchased extra research facilities, which I have not, or that they've focused infantry technology, which I have not. I'm not sure, but either way, both of these just kind of limit them in other ways, so I'm fine with it because I'm catching up anyway. But that was a nice full episode. Good gains on pretty much every front where gains are being made. Good holding on every front where we are holding the line. And a desperate Central Powers scrambling to defend the land that I am very quickly starting to claim. We are now in March of 1915, and I think the war is going pretty well. Turn 20 out of 118. We're about 1/6 of the way through the game. I hope you guys are enjoying the series, and I'll see you on the next one.